River of Life Church of God. Hesperia, California. It's just up the hill, Apple Valley. Hesperia, right up the hill, right around the road. The pastor took me one day and he said, do you remember this little famous little hole in the wall right here, this little rock? I said, no, should I? He said, this is where, when John Wayne would always ride in the movies and ride his horse, this is where most of his films were filmed, that little hole in the rock there set up. This is it here in Apple Valley. This is his most favorite place. This is where he would always come. This is where he would ride that horse in the entrance of his movie or in the middle of his movie when he started making movies. This is it. It's a famous place. He said, a lot of people come here. Do you know what I do? I said, what? He said, I stand out here with tracks. Now, mind you, he's 76 years old. This is Herschel White, Church of God of Hesperia. 76 years old. He said, I stand down here with tracks and I wait on them to get there. When they're looking at this wall, I walk up to them and I hand it to them and they think that I'm some kind of movie producer or something. When they look at it and I say, I'm a preacher. Do you know Jesus? Now, mind you, he's 76 years old, so he's not going to, you know, there you go, man. Just a simple word. He says, most everyone says yes. When I asked him this question, are you saved? Most everyone says yes. He says, then I go a step further and I said, what's your favorite scripture? I could ask that in the church today. What's your favorite scripture? Most of us, to feel important, would say, well, I just love them all, preacher. To not be put on the spot because, and some of them try to be cute and say, oh, Jesus wept.
God will never leave me nor forsake me.
So, we ask ourselves sometimes, and here's my push to you, and it's just 11:30 now, I'm fixing to wind this thing down, but here's my push to you. Is that this month, we're coming up on the very important time of the week, and it's called Thanksgiving. But this month, I want to commission you to talk to somebody about Jesus. I want to commission you, and I dare you to bring them to church. Listen, bring them to church. Bring your mama. Bring your daddy, bring your sister, bring your brother, bring your relative, bring your co-worker, bring somebody, talk to them about Jesus, and take that extra step and bring them to church. I dare you to bring them to church. Get them here and let Jesus speak into their lives. I'm telling you right now, I can promise you this. That when you get them here, I believe that the Spirit of Jesus, that the Spirit of the saved and the believer, I believe that the power that God has established the church, it can turn their life around. But sometimes we don't ever take that next step. This ain't deep this morning. This is just my heart crying out that the church has sat still for too long. Now, I love every one of you, and I believe that you love me. But you cannot put this on me. It's a preacher's job to save souls and to build a church. That has never been my job. Your job is a sheep because sheep bear sheep. Priests don't bear sheep, but sheep bear sheep. It's your job to bring them. It's your job to make them. It's your job to invite them. And my job is to get a word from God and to preach. And so I dare say that we begin to get together, listen to me, and we begin to build LifeChangers Church. We begin to build them with the outcasts. We begin to build them with the people that people talk about all the time. Let's build LifeChangers Church with a man who has a story that when he walks down through town, nobody knows his name, but they remembered what he did. He robbed a liquor store when he was 18 years old. He's been in prison for 10 years. Let's invite those people that they don't know their name, but they point their finger and say, I remember her. Yeah. She got pregnant in high school in a lockers room. Let's invite people that when they walk down the street, they don't know their name, but they say, I remember him. He grown up in church, and his daddy was a preacher, and he run off with another woman, and the church fell, and he never been the Yes. Come on, somebody. Let's adopt those people that are hurting, that are needing Jesus. Let's reach out and let's preach this simple thing called Jesus. Let's get involved. Let's preach the name. Let's get them stirred. But before we can get them stirred, we have to be stirred. Before we can tell people about Jesus, we have to honestly know who he is. We can't spend all of our life just in a service. We got to know the commander. We got to know what it's about. Ask yourself this morning, are you really happy to be saved?
Yep, I am.
Or are you just thankful that you got a church to go to and, well, at least I ain't going to hell?